For Around the Ozarks in 5, brought to you by the Springfield Greene County Park Board, Roto-Rooter Plumbing and Drain Service, Blue Current, and Thompson Sales. Here are your hosts, Ethan and Sarah Foreheads.
And good morning on Wednesday. Hope your Wednesday's going well. We'll see how it shakes out the rest of the day, but we're going to start out with some news.
Sounds good. Yeah, go for it.
We now know the identities of the victims of that house explosion we told you about in Good Hope over the weekend. Salvador Haro was killed, as well as Sylvia Haro, Salvador Haro Jr., and Alex Haro. All lost their lives when a propane tank exploded, obliterating their house. One of the sheriffs said it was unlike anything he had ever seen before. The house was undergoing renovations when that explosion happened. Salvador was the owner of Haro Brothers Diner in Ava. That's a restaurant. His son Alex, a sophomore at Spokane High School, and older brother Salvador Jr. graduated from Missouri State in 2022. So 4 members.
Unbelievable.
So sad.
Storms moved through last night, depending on where you are. Some places worse than others. And yesterday, just in time for the latest round of storms, the Ozarks School District opened a new shelter at Tiger Paw Early Childhood Center. That facility will be a full-time cafeteria and double as a shelter. Now that it is completed, every school building in Ozark will have a storm shelter as soon as the high school's new shelter is finished up next month. So soon and very soon. The new shelter at Tiger Paw is a result of a bond issue that Ozark voters passed back in 2022. And they might need it. Right? Yeah. Soon. That's right. Soon and very soon.
Yeah.
Bass Pro's concert for conservation at Thunder Ridge was canceled because of the weather last night. Ticket holders will get a refund. The Saturday concert by Morgan Wallen at Thunder Ridge is still planned to go on as scheduled. Last night, again, just cancellation because of the weather. So we'll see what Saturday's weather holds, I suppose. Yeah. It was 13 years ago today that Joplin was hit by an EF5 tornado, which prompted a lot of storm shelters being built in the area. It hit wind speeds of more than 200 miles per hour and was on the ground for more than 20 miles. It caused $3 billion worth of damage. Everything in its path was destroyed. And it was a long path, including Mercy Hospital. 161 people lost their lives on that Sunday evening 13 years ago.
Yeah, I remember that like it was yesterday. I remember when we found out about it. We were at Sunday evening church at the time, and we got a call. We started hearing messages, and it was time for us to go to work. But it was also, we thought at the time, headed toward our area. So people were hunkering down, and then it was the worst damage I've ever seen following any disaster ever. I mean, it was unbelievable. I can't, when I picture it in my mind, I still can't make it as bad as it was because of all the intricate detail of the damage. You know what I mean? I mean, there were cars wrapped around trees, but they were everywhere you looked. Something was twisted and in the wrong place. It was just, you can't recreate that in your head somehow.
Yeah. Yeah. And we did that story last night. Or maybe it was like 2 or 3 days ago about Joplin possibly getting a new like sports center, multi-use activity center building. So that'll be interesting because if that happens, it will be the biggest construction project, I guess you would call it, or development since the tornado. So, much of Joplin now seems so new. Like when we drive down Rangeline Road, so much of it is, newer construction. So.
Yeah, it's that can happen anytime, when the atmosphere is right. All right, Cox Health is teaming up with St. Louis Children's Hospital and Washington University in St. Louis. That would mean a standalone building in Springfield housing a pediatric outpatient center as well as improved NICU and pediatric inpatient care. At Cox. The announcement follows discussions between Cox Health and Mercy Springfield about working together on a children's hospital. But as you know, that didn't happen. We knew that wasn't going to happen as soon as Mercy announced earlier this year that it was planning to partnership with Children's Mercy Kansas City instead. So now Cox has teamed up with the hospital from outside to make a children's hospital better as well. City of Springfield is moving forward on a plan to restore the Jefferson Avenue footbridge near Commercial Street. The city only received one bid to work on this project after delaying the deadline several times, or at least 3 times. The city only received one bid, as we said. Subsequently, the city came up with 4 options for varying degrees of work on the bridge with differing price tags. The council ended up choosing the $10.8 million option, which happened to be the most expensive option. That includes elevators to make the bridge compliant with Americans with Disabilities Act, as well as removal of the lead-based paint that's on there currently. The footbridge was built in 1902. It has been closed, deemed unsafe for the past 8 years.
Yeah. It's wild, isn't it? All right. The city council gave the green light to a plan by the Springfield Police Department to offer cash incentives for officers. New recruits will get a $5,000 bonus, and that bonus will be $10,000 if the officer is coming to Springfield from a different department. So that means they have experience. SPD is also offering up to $2,500 a year towards student loan debt and up to $12,500 as well. SPD has about 50 job openings right now. So yeah, big payments towards student loans, incentives for signing on, incentives for if you're coming from a different department. So lots of positions to fill, and they are trying to get that done, sounds like.
Well, money talks, so that may be what attracts officers from other departments, because that's what they want most, are people with experience, so they don't have to train them from the get-go.
Yeah.
And $10,000.
I'll tell you, $13,000, almost $13,000 towards student loan debt. I think we get a lot of people, because the amount of student loan debt that people have these days is scary.
Crazy. It's insane. Yeah.
That's helpful. All right. Now to this. One of Rashee Rice's legal problems just went away. You remember him. He is the Kansas City Chiefs player suspected of assaulting in Dallas with his car, a car that he had rented. The alleged victim went to the hospital after that assault. Rice is a receiver for the Kansas City Chiefs. A month prior to that assault, he was driving 119 miles per hour and was involved in a chain reaction crash and is now facing several charges in that wreck.
Yeah, it's an ongoing saga, it sounds like.
Yeah.
Dickerson Park Zoo is adding 2 new nursing stations to the park today. The zoo is partnering with Mercy Hospital and Habitat for Humanity Restore in Springfield to do that. The new privacy rooms for nursing mothers were built entirely by the zoo's maintenance team. So that's cool.
That is cool. Huh. I like that.
Springfield Cashew Chickens, meanwhile, are back. They are the alter ego
Cashew Chickens
of the Springfield Cardinals. Yes.
I was wondering why it was plural. I was wondering why you said chickens plural. I get it now.
Yeah, you've seen this, right? They bring it back. It's the alter ego of the Springfield Cardinals baseball team to celebrate Springfield's favorite dish. The Cashew Chickens come out just 8 times this season, and tomorrow night is one of them. The team will wear specialty jerseys at Hammons Field and will be offering specialty gear, the Cashew Chickens gear, in the team store as they take on the Tulsa Drillers at Hammons. You can get tickets at Springfield Cardinals website or at Hammons Field.
There you go.
Once you do, we'll be watching the weather to see if we have more severe weather on the way, because it seems like we've been in a pattern every week.
Yeah.
We have at least a couple chances for it.
Yeah, it is interesting. I mean, I guess it feels like summer outside, and when temperatures get hot and things can get unstable. So there you go.
Unstable they are.
Unstable they are. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us, and I hope you have a great Wednesday. We'll see you back here tomorrow.
Yep. See you tomorrow. Bye.
Bye.
It's time for Around the Ozarks Wake Up Weather, sponsored by Scooters Coffee and Rescue Towing. Here's your host, meteorologist Abby Dyer.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to your Wednesday. We are waking up with temperatures in the 50s. We had a few storms on the radar late last night. Boy, it got windy for a while, didn't it? A couple of heavy downpours. And yes, there is more storm activity in the forecast today. So we are not done with the storm chances across the Ozarks just yet. Buckle up for another round of storms today. And yes, once again, we are talking the potential for severe weather here. Now, today, all modes of severe weather are still possible, but it's for our southern counties, south of I-44, where I think the biggest threat exists. The threats today include hail and some very heavy downpours, which could lead to some flash flooding. So keep that in mind. I think the best chances for seeing some of that storm activity going to be between the hours of about noon, lunchtime, lasting through the early afternoon into the early evening hours. And we could certainly still have some showers out there by the time we get close to sunset tonight. Most of this activity today will be isolated for our southern counties, and I am expecting that there will be the chance for some stronger storms too. Now, a lot of the storms today will be elevated in nature, meaning they're not down at the surface, so the tornado threat looks a bit lower today, which is good news for us. It's not zero, but it's lower, so we'll look forward to that. But additional chances for strong storms are still in the forecast as we head through the remainder of the week. We are talking about conditions that are going to be unsettled today, and that's really going to limit our temperature. Numbers this morning as of 5 a.m. are in the upper 50s, but we're only warming to the low 70s today. I have 72 degrees for the high temperature, and that's because of some rain-cooled air that will be around for the middle of the day and the afternoon hours. It's a widespread area that could see the strong to severe storms today. Basically, areas that are south of the cold front have the best chance for that strong to severe weather. We have this front kind of draped in our area. It's northern Arkansas, extreme southeast Missouri that have the best chance for the severe weather and the flash flooding risk across the Midwest today. A slight cool down is ahead. Of course, today we're including that cool down in the headlines with high temperatures falling into the 70s, but I have numbers that return close to average for the holiday weekend coming up. Unfortunately, I wish I could tell you that I'm getting rid of the storm chance just in time for the weekend. It's just not the case. I have a daily chance for rain in this forecast. It does appear very unsettled, and I think there's at least some opportunity for a few storms that are on the strong side. That looks possible for both Thursday and Friday, and I continue to hold on to an isolated storm chance for the weekend. Now, there will be plenty of dry time this weekend too. I am not saying that the weekend is going to be a washout, but you'll have to kind of plan your activities accordingly, and we'll look at the timing a bit closer as the weekend gets more near, but right now, looks like temps will be back into the 80s by Saturday. We're in the mid and upper 80s by Sunday, and Memorial Day looks like we'll be enjoying the mid 80s, but we're still holding on to at least a 30% chance for some showers and thunderstorms. I am expecting a few of the storms that are out there today. They could be a little bit on the strong side. I already mentioned that. So just make sure you have your plan in place. So you're able to get your watches and warnings. We haven't checked out for summertime just yet. We still have some of these spring severe storms to deal with. Around the country, the severe storm chances are making headlines. We are talking severe weather and that heavy rain threat. I mentioned the threat for flash flooding in the Ozarks. It's a widespread area that extends back into portions of northeast Oklahoma, northern Arkansas, all the way back up into portions of Kentucky with that flash flood threat for today. Then cool periods of showers and high elevation snow chances are still happening out in the Mountain West. That's continuing all the way from the Pacific Northwest into the higher elevations of the Rockies. And then we are dealing with the opposite, well above average temperatures for much of the Northeast and the Southern Plains. That's what's making headlines as we are in the middle of the week here in the Ozarks. So a lot going on around the country. Of course, it's still active here in the Ozarks, and we're going to be talking about this active pattern for several days now, it appears. All right, here's a look at your Around the Ozarks Wake Up Weather Brain Twister Trivia question for the day. Here's the question that I left you with yesterday. What colors are at the extreme ends of the visible color spectrum? The options were A, red and violet, B, white and black, C, yellow and blue, or D, white and violet. If you guessed A, red and violet, you are correct. If you remembered it because of Roy G. Biv, well, thank your teacher because that is correct. It is violet and red. They are the two colors at the opposite ends of the visible light spectrum. Violet light has a wavelength of 410 nanometers, while red light has a wavelength of 660 nanometers, and everybody else falls somewhere in between. So A, red and violet. Congrats if that was your choice. You're now entered to win a gift card for $20 to Scooter's Coffee. A couple coffees to start the week out. It's a pretty good deal. All right, here is the next question that I have for you. This is for tomorrow. What do you call phyllo pastry stuffed with chopped nuts and honey or syrup? Do you think that is A, an almond croissant, B, baklava, C, Turkish delight, or D, lokma? Let me know. Are you a baker, or do you frequent bakeries and enjoy some of these delicious treats? You can enter your guess. That's at aroundtheozarks.com. I'll have the answer for you early tomorrow morning. It is free to enter. So head on over to the website to get that done. For weather information, we've got you covered all day long. As I mentioned, storms firing up today. I think shortly after the lunch hour, we'll have storms on the radar for the early afternoon and evening hours. Most of the severe ones will stay south of I-44, but I want everybody to be, heads up to the weather today. Stay safe on that evening drive. We'll be talking about cooler weather in the forecast today. Enjoy the 72, and I will chat with you again early tomorrow morning.